محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا وسيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله تعالى وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. Jabir radiyallahu anhu said, إذا كان يوم صومك فليصم بصرك ولسانك سمعك وبصرك ولسانك عن الكذب ودع عنك أذى الخادم وليكن عليك السكينة والوقار ولا تجعل يوم فطرك كيوم صومك. It is reported that Jabir radiyallahu anhu said, that is, when you fast, let your eyes and ears and tongue fast from lying. And do not hurt your servant. Or you could translate this, and do not hurt anyone that you could hurt. Withhold your harm. And when you are fasting, adopt dignity and tranquility. And do not let the day when you are fasting be similar to the day when you're not. That is, when you are fasting, you're in a different state of mind. You're in a different atmosphere. Just like when you put ihram on, or you enter Mecca or Medina, you realize that there is something different. And you should act differently. When you are fasting, you're not supposed to have the same behavior. And your mind, how you think, is not supposed to be the same. It should be distinct. It should be special. And we realize that one of the objectives, lessons of fasting is to be patient. And Ibn Mas'ud radiyallahu anhu authentically reported to him, he said, "As-sabru nisful iman." Patience is half of iman. And I want you to realize what he's saying radiyallahu anhu, because if you are able to acquire sabr, patience, you've secured half of your iman. Half of your iman. And that is a lot. That is a gain that you can get in this month in particular, because Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam had named it the month of patience, Shahrul Sabr. This Ramadan is Shahr al-Sabr. Because it teaches you patience, because it requires patience. But the way that it teaches us patience is not theoretical. It's not academic, abstract, but you practice it. And if you're aware that this is an objective, you will acquire it as you are practicing this patience, as you are fasting day in and day out. See Ramadan, where Allah Azza wa Jal tells you not to eat and not to drink. And that is attractive. That is such a common activity that people would not think on their own to stop eating and drinking. So it takes a great deal of patience, of sacrifice for you to say no to that. And you will see in Ramadan that it will bring with it some challenges and some difficulties. It will disrupt your routine. It will change your habit. It may be for some of us or many of us physically challenging, at least in the beginning. For some of us it may be mentally challenging, especially in the beginning. And then you may wonder, why am I doing all of this, and for what end and for whom? And the answer, if it comes back for Allah Azza wa Jal, for forgiveness, for salvation, for my own benefit, then you realize that you are learning patience. When Allah Azza wa Jal tells you, do not look at the haram, and this haram has permeated our modern life, it's very hard to escape. It's much easier to go with the flow, with the current, and just commit yourself to that haram rather than swim against it. Yet if Allah tells you in Ramadan, no, don't look at the haram, don't listen to the haram, this is a special time, you sure should be a special person then, and you say no to it despite the difficulty and sacrifice, you'll realize that you are practicing patience. And you realize that Ramadan, the way that it is set up, it develops that patience in us. It doesn't come all at once, but it's gradual. You fast the first day, then the second day, then the third day, and throughout all of these days you're repeating the practice of patience to tell you that patience is not acquired all of a sudden, in totality, all at once, but you have to gradually learn it. You have to gradually learn to be a patient person, and this is important for anyone who wants to be patient. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam said, وَمَنْ يَتَصَبَّرْ يُصَبِّرْهُ اللَّهِ. It says, if you practice patience, if you seek it, Allah shall make you patient. But you should want it first. And then you should sacrifice for it first. And you should walk the path of patience by saying to yourself, no, I'm not going to do this. I'll delay satisfaction, joy, food, drink till later. That is a practice of patience. And it's gradual. And anyone who expects to be someone special overnight does not understand human nature. So you want to be more patient? Practice it in Ramadan. Not just by simply saying no to eating and drinking, but no also to fighting, bickering, arguments. Some of us, because we are hungry and thirsty, low on sugar, don't have caffeine, take that as an excuse to be argumentative, to be bitter, to be loud, to shout, to have bad character. So we use fasting as an excuse to be worse. Whereas Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not command that, nor did he expect it from the fasting person, because he said alayhi salatu wasalam, فَإِنْ سَابَّهُ أَحَدٌ أَوْ شَاتَمَهُ أَوْ قَاتَلَهُ فَلْيَقُلْ إِنِّي صَائِمٌ إِنِّي صَائِمٌ. That's if someone wants to fight with you, pick a fight with you, insult you, quarrel with you, shout at you while you are fasting, what do you say? I am fasting, I am fasting. Not to accept that evil invitation, not to aggravate the evil, using the excuse of, I'm short on food, I'm just agitated, I couldn't control myself. Rasulullah alayhi salatu wasalam wants you to exert greater control when you're fasting. Not less, greater control. And that tells you that you're supposed to be more patient when you are fasting. Another thing that the sequence of Ramadan teaches you, in it being set up in 30 days or so, is that if you mess up one day, make a mistake one day, you don't give up. But you start your fast again the next day, learning from your mistakes. If the first day was not good, you try again on the second. If the third day was not good, you try again on the fourth and the fifth. If the first week was not good, you still have 3 more weeks. And it tells you that it does not matter the setback. It does not matter the mistakes. It does not matter what you've missed. What matters is the repetition and determination. You want to be patient, you continue along that path regardless of the setbacks, and you don't let the setbacks define you. I failed once, so I'll stop. We don't stop in Ramadan because one day was bad. We continue fasting. We make up for it. But we continue fasting. And we conclude the month with the help of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that is the path of patience. It's not just one try or a second try or a third try. You continue doing it until Allah Azza wa Jal gives it to you with His help, but in the way that Allah wants you to do it. And this is, by the way, needed not just simply in Ramadan, but throughout our lives. How are we going to live this life without patience? How are we going to let go of the haram and resist it without patience? Bishr al-Hafi, rahimahullah, he was with someone walking with him, and his companion was thirsty. So they passed by a well, and he said, don't drink from this well. Wait till the next one. Then they came to the second one. He said, don't drink from this one yet. Let's wait for the next one. They reached the third and the fourth. And then he eventually told him, drink from this one. But by the way, this is how you traverse life. This is how you journey through life. This is how you say no now, and then no later, until no becomes permissible, no becomes beneficial. But you have to say no to yourself and no to its desire, and only then will you be able to get what you want. So sometimes, yes, you're gonna have to be thirsty before you are not. Yes, sometimes you have to be hungry before you are not. Sometimes you have to be troubled before you are not. Sometimes you really have to sacrifice before you get what you want. Al-Hasan al-Basri, rahimahullah, he said, إنكم لن تنالوا ما تحبون حتى تتركوا ما تشتهون وإنكم لن تدركوا ما تأملون حتى تصبروا على ما تكرهون. He said, rahimahullah, he says, you're not going to get what you love until you leave some of what you desire. And you're not going to get what you hope for until you are patient with what you hate. You realize that? You love 2 things. You love many things. But he says the things that truly matter, that you should really love, you're not going to get that until you let go of other things that you love as well. And you're not going to get what you hope for, especially religious things, but even non-religious things. You're not going to get them until you are patient with things that you hate. And if you don't have patience, you're not going to get what you love. You're not going to get what you hope for. And that is why Allah Azza wa Jal is teaching us in this month to be more patient. Not only for it to be in Ramadan, but outside of Ramadan as well. And that is how we survive. That is how we excel when we fast. So when you are fasting, I want us all to ask ourselves, why are we fasting and what am I learning from it? And if it is painful, what is this pain for? Because it's intended, this pain is intended so that you could taste the bitterness and you can sacrifice, and then Allah Azza wa Jal will give you what you want. Any pain in life, especially when Allah asks you to do something, any pain in life will bring with it great joy later on. In the hereafter, for sure. But even in this dunya. And Allah Azza wa Jal said, فَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَيَجْعَلَ اللَّهُ فِيهِ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. Perhaps you may hate something, but Allah would bring through it a great deal of good. Think about all your life, what may lie ahead, what you may face in the future. You may hate something. Allah asks you, give money, forgive so-and-so, fast on this day, pray at night. And these things are not easy. But Allah is saying, perhaps you may hate something, but there is a lot of good that will come through it if you are just patient. But if you quit, you're not going to get it. If you will stop, you'll miss all of this. So think about patience as you are fasting and try to get more of it, not less. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا فيه وأصلي وأسلم على رسوله محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. رسول الله عليه الصلاة والسلام said, وَاعْلَمْ أَنَّ فِي الصَّبْرِ عَلَى مَا تَكْرَهُ خَيْرًا كَثِيرًا. He was instructing us, عليه الصلاة والسلام, by saying that know that being patient with what you hate will bring a great deal of good to you. So Allah Azza wa Jal wants you to have this feature in you. And in addition to the behavioral education of Ramadan, meaning you are practicing patience, there's also the cognitive awareness that allows patience to be easier, which is the reward that awaits you and the abundance of benefits that awaits you. If you know through the physical pain that you're experiencing, whether you are fasting or doing anything that pleases Allah Azza wa Jal, through that physical pain, that will bring you Allah's pleasure, that will bring you later joy. You will tolerate little bit of pain for the greater joy that will follow. If you believe in the promise of Allah Azza wa Jal, then you could sacrifice the comfort of this life. You could sacrifice its wealth. You could sacrifice what you love for the sake of the later joy, the later benefit, the later comfort that Allah Azza wa Jal had promised you. Then the sacrifice of Ramadan would make sense. Yes, of course, I will not eat and drink. And yes, of course, eating and drinking is full of joy. But I want greater joy that Allah Azza wa Jal will bring me. So I can sacrifice the smaller for the bigger. And this is how life is in general. When a haram comes to you and it's full of promises, you have to say to yourself, yes, I know it can bring me some sort of happiness. But where does the greater happiness lie? In accepting it, in accepting a haram dollar, a haram companionship, haram look, a haram touch, a haram income, in that, or saying no to it despite the bitterness, despite the difficulty, despite people insisting that I'm being foolish, letting go of all of this, despite this and believing that later on, a day from now, a month from now, a year from now, at the end of my life, or maybe when I meet Allah Azza wa Jal, there is a greater compensation that awaits me. Only that allows you to tolerate life, to survive life, to live it as Allah Azza wa Jal wants you. So when someone dies and she is so close to you, how do you live through all of this? Unless if you know that Allah Azza wa Jal has destined this. And patience will bring you greater rewards than panicking, than protesting, than anger. Then you become patient because you've learned it through behavior in Ramadan and similar worships, but also you learned it up here in your head. That yes, I am going to be patient. If someone wants to pick a fight with you and you have now the opportunity to prove that you are stronger and better and smarter, and yet you refrain from all of this because you hear the promise of Rasulullah alayhi salatu wassalam, من ترك المراء ولو كان محقا. That is, if you let go of argumentation, even if you are right, you are promised a palace in Jannah. So you say to yourself, winning an argument or a palace in heaven? I'll take a palace in heaven. So you are patient because of it. And the more you know, the more that you'll be able to be patient, the better practitioner of Islam you are. So Ramadan offers both of these opportunities. So when we are fasting, look at the pain, look at the inconvenience, it's intended. Look at the sacrifice, it's intended. Look at some of the difficult days, because some of the days are going to be easy, some of the weeks are going to be easy, some of the other ones are going to be difficult, and that is intended for you to look at it and you'll say, I'll keep doing it by the difficulty. And the next day will be better by the idn of Allah Azza wa Jal. And if you find difficulty in the performance of ibadah, you ask Allah Azza wa Jal for support. Ya Allah, help me with fasting. Ya Allah, help me with the salah. You make a mistake, Ya Allah, save me from those mistakes. Save me from my tongue. Ya Allah, improve my character. Ya Allah, take that character and that trait away from me. You're in constant conversation with Him subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what brought all of this? Ramadan put you in the midst of it. Face to face with yourself and close to Allah Azza wa Jal. And that is why excessive entertainment is detrimental to Ramadan. Excessive distractions are detrimental to Ramadan, because in Ramadan you need to sit with yourself. You need to sit with the Quran. You need to sit and talk to Allah Azza wa Jal. You need to improve yourself. You need to be better for what comes after Ramadan for the rest of your life. And if your constant preoccupation in Ramadan is with entertainment, you're being drugged. And that drug is stealing Ramadan away from you. Ask the important questions in it. Because if you are ready now, if you get to be tested after Ramadan, you'll be ready for that test. But if you're not ready in Ramadan, the opportunity, the time when you can be closest to Allah Azza wa Jal is right here and right now. If you don't get it now, it's much harder to get it later. Much harder to get it later. So ask Allah Rabbal Alameen, Arhamar Rahimin, to grant us patience and fortitude and perseverance. We ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to teach us patience in Ramadan and after Ramadan. We ask Him Rabbal Alameen to make us of those who are fasting for His sake, praying for His sake, but reading the Quran for His sake. We ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us preoccupied with remembering Him, preoccupied with dua, preoccupied with giving to the poor, to the needy, preoccupied with improving our character. We ask Him Rabbal Alameen to grant us Jannah and anything that brings us nearest to it, and protect us from hellfire and anything that brings us nearer to it. And we ask Him subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us all the good in this life and in the hereafter, and to protect us from all evil in this life and in the hereafter. Allahumma atina fid dunya hasana wa fil akhirati hasana wa qina adhab an-nar. Allahumma ya muqallib al-qulubi thabbit qulubana ala dinik. اللهم يا مصرف القلوب صرف قلوبنا على طاعتك. اللهم اجعلنا ممن صام إيمانا واحتسابا، وممن قام إيمانا واحتسابا، وممن قام ليلة القدر إيمانا واحتسابا. اللهم اجعلنا ممن دعاك فأجبته رب العالمين. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يذكرك كثيرا رب العالمين بالليل والنهار. اللهم استجب لنا وأصلح لنا أحوالنا وأصلح لنا أخلاقنا. اللهم ارزقنا الصبر والشكر في رمضان، وأعنا فيه على ما تحب وترضى. اللهم انصر إخواننا المستضعفين في كل مكان رب العالمين، اللهم انصرهم في غزة وفلسطين وبلاد الشام وفي السودان وفي كل مكان يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم كن لهم عونا ونصيرا، اللهم كن لهم عونا ونصيرا، وكن على عدوهم يا رب العالمين، يا عزيز يا حكيم يا حي يا قيوم، برحمتك نستغيث. أصلح لنا شأننا كله ولا تكلنا إلى أنفسنا طرفة عين.